100 pace car leading the field under caution here at USA International Speedway in Lakewood, Florida. The Amalie 100 as we have 75 laps in the books, working lap number 76. So 25 laps to go. Let's go down to Doug Rice in the pit area with a report.
We've caught up with Bobby Richards. He's the crew chief for the second place car. Wayne Jones. Wayne, got anything for the leader, Tom Kelly, Bobby?
I don't know. Right now we're having a problem with the car. It seems to be running hot a little bit, so we're trying to cool it down. We got 24 laps left, see if we can make it to the end.
Think this caution period will help you out, Indy, here as far as keeping the water temp down?
Yeah, we're trying to. He's trying to get out right now and get some clean air in it and see if we can get it to come down some. We just have to wait and see right now. We don't know.
So Bobby Richards, along with his driver Wayne Jones, trying to nurse car 07 for 24 more laps here tonight.
Thank you very much, Doug Rice. Do you think that Wayne Jones, crew chief, maybe taking little lessons from Frankie Grill down there?
I think he probably might be a little more honest. These guys haven't been around quite long enough to know how to stretch the truth a little bit to make it seem like it's anything worse. It seems like tonight the second place is not the place to be. He's the fourth car we've had in second place, and now he's having trouble.
But the guy that's had it going his own way tonight has been Tom Kelly in car number 72. He has led from the drop of the green flag. And this is the Amalie 100, 76 laps in the book, so it'll be 24 laps to go when they come around this time.
And this is what these guys are used to racing at their weekly racetracks. It's in their hands now, something that they do week in and week out, 25 lap shootouts.
Well, they've been pretty well behaved up until this point in the race, and then Harold Cannon and a couple other cars started to swap some paint and trade some sheet metal out there, and that's pretty much what we're used to seeing with these divisions at weekly racetracks throughout the country, as they're not afraid to peel some paint off the car.
No, they're used to leaning on each other like we talked about. See, Joe Wenchel's in the pits right now. They're having him back up, and they checked the rear end. He must be leaking some fluid.
So these cars, again, they're pretty much Saturday night weekly racers, used to going 25, 30 laps, running a 100-lapper here tonight, and putting, really taxing these engines. They're pretty much stock configuration engines on this big 3/4 mile oval.
Yes, they are, and it's something unusual. Like say, this is only the second time that they've raced on a track this big. Last time the Hooters Cup was here, and you see Joe Winchell on pit road again. He just backed up to his crew so they could attend to maybe the rear end grease or whatever it is that's leaking.
And looks like we are getting set to go back to green flag action. Tom Kelly brings them off the fourth turn. Wayne Jones in the second spot. Running third is the 66 car of Rick Kretsch. So back under green flag racing. Rusty Hillman running fourth, and car number 71 in fifth will be the 77 car of Glenn Whitney.
Had a car almost get sideways back on the back straightaway. Number 7 car, Craig Brown, did a great job of saving it. There you see the battle for the lead, and it's becoming a big one. There's the 7 car again. We just saw him losing on the back stretch, and here he does the same thing on the front straightaway. No, I'm sorry, that's the 14.
The 14 car of Jimmy Ballard Jr. losing it coming off the fourth turn to bring out yet another caution flag. Doesn't look like much damage on the car. Of course, we cannot see the left side, which he did hit the wall with down there, so that could be a problem. He may have trouble steering the car as he is trying to get it back underway, and it looks like he may be okay as he drives it down the front straightaway. So under caution once again as the laps continue to wind down and getting close to that 20 lap to go mark as the pace car picks up the field coming off of turn 2 as Jimmy Ballard Jr. will go to the tail of the field for the restart if he can continue.
Yeah, we see Joe Winchell coming off pit road, lost 3 or 4 laps in the pits, but he's running for a championship. He needs to get out there and try to make as many points as he can. So we see him going out maybe 3 laps down.
At least 2 or 3 laps on the field, because I believe we went back to green on lap 77, so it's showing lap 80 now on the board. So Joe Winchell at least 2 or 3 laps down from the leaders.
But he went to the end of pit road, made the hard left behind the wall.
And that pretty much will tell that tale then, as he's going to give it up for the night. Apparently something leaking in the rear end of the automobile. And one thing that I started to say earlier with these cars, unlike the late models which have a quick change rear end, and we'll take a look at the replay, and then maybe I'll get to tell that story.
Oh, got a little help.
Oh, yeah.
That'll make you go around in a hurry.
It sure will. I can't see the number on the car that got in the back end of Jimmy Ballard Jr., but he did a nice job of gathering up, and that's a tough thing to do in that grass.
Yes, it is. It's like skating on ice. There's not much control you have when you're going the speed that these guys are going on the speeds they're not used to running.
But getting back to talking about the rear ends of the cars, the late models have the quick change rear end. They can take a plate off of the back of the rear end of the car. They have 2 spur gears in there, which they can change, which changes the final drive ratio of the cars. These cars run a 9-inch Ford rear end, which has a big yoke in it, and it takes quite a bit more time and effort to change a gear on these cars. And we were talking about how they were taxing these engines and how they were running them on this big track of 3/4 miles compared to a 1/4 mile and a 3/8 mile. They really got to do a lot of work in changing the gears on these cars.
And I think that might have been the demise of Joe Winchell just now, not being able to work on that rear end and fix it in a hurry like you can on the late models. So it may have cost him, well, I know it did. It cost him quite a few points towards the championship.
A lot of time when a driver comes to a new racetrack that they've never been on before, they pretty much got to try to guess at the gear. If they don't have it quite right with the late model, you can come in the pits in a matter of 3 or 4 minutes, change that gear. But when you do it on one of these cars, it takes about 45 minutes to an hour to do it.
And they had a little bit of an advantage at this racetrack. They all showed up last night, got some practice in under this 2-day format that we have with the Hooters Cup late models. So they got to practice a little bit last night, gave them a chance to change that rear end if they needed to. Most of the races they have are 1-day shows. They show up, they have to run whatever they bring.
Field getting the 1-to-go signal with 17 laps to go, 83 laps in the books. Tom Kelly still on the point in car number 72, and he has had a pretty uneventful evening thus far.
He has. As I said, there's been 4 different cars running in second place behind him. Maybe he's dropping some tacks out there on the Speedway.
The only car that's got close to him all night was the 71 car of
and the pace car.
On the pace car of Rusty Hillman, who was able to get a fender inside of him on that opening lap, but after that, he just checked out on him.
Pace car is the only one that's led him all night.
So out in front, we have Glenn Whitney, car number 72. In the second spot, Wayne Jones in the 07 car. Rick Kretsch, car number 66, in the third spot, and we are back under green.
Well, if Wayne Jones' car is overheating, he didn't show it then coming down the front straightaway because he almost put a move on our leader.
He definitely didn't catch him napping as Kelly opens up about a 3-car length advantage down the back straightaway. And he had quite a few caution laps to probably get that car cooled down a little bit as he's looking to the inside again down the front straightaway into turn 1. And it'll be Kelly taking the wider line in the corner with the momentum going for him that'll keep the lead. And Rick Kretsch staying right with him in the 66 car.
At this point, I doubt if he's even looking at the gauges. He's wanting this win, hoping the motor will hold out. Hopefully for him it will, whether he gets the win or not, hopefully the motor will hold together.
Rick Kretsch trying to pinch the car off on the inside, maybe get a run at Wayne Jones, but he almost lost it down there. Car started twitching a little bit at the back end of the car coming off the 4th turn, but he gathers it back up, now tries to reel in those top 2 automobiles, and they are running close together, almost too close right there on the Speedway.
They almost touched. But this is some great racing. This is what we enjoy seeing, a battle for the lead. Most fans do.
There you see a little bit further back through the pack the number 10 automobile of Ron Regula, and right in front of him the 56 car. And Jimmy Ballard, who went to the back of the pack after the spin up in turn number 4, he's trying to work his way back up through the pack, and he's up there battling with the 01 car of Jeff Wogeman.
We still have the lead 3 trying to pull away from everybody else, and they've got their own little battle going on, their own little race. It seems like 4th place on back is a completely different race.
Tom Kelly, your leader, coming off the 4th turn in car number 72. Right behind him, Wayne Jones in the 07 cars. They go by our speed shot on the front straightaway. In third, Rick Kretsch, car number 66. And then about a half a straightaway behind them, you'll find the 4th place car of Rusty Hillman as we are coming up on the 10-to-go signal this time around. Tony Boswell is going to be waving at the drivers with both hands when they come under the flag stand this time as he shows them 10 fingers saying 10 to go. Almost looks like Tony's trying to put a hex on him up there the way he's waving those fingers up there.
There he is. trying to hold him back maybe, but I know he wants to get a race over as quick as the drivers do.
Here we see Jimmy Ballard coming up through the pack, and he's getting into some pretty quick automobiles now, as we've got the 52 car, Jason Bowser, that he's moving underneath. So Ballard trying to work his way up through the field, but now with less than 10 laps to go, I don't think Ballard's going to be able to get into this fight.
No, not for the lead. It looks like Rusty Hillman's not going to have a chance to battle in this lead as much as they pulled away from him.
It looks like it's going to be decided coming down to the checkered flag among the top 3 automobiles as they cross the stripe on the front straightaway. And you can see how far back Ballard and that group of automobiles is to the leaders as they just came off the 4th turn. So they're about a half a lap behind to the leaders as Tom Kelly in car number 72 leads into turn number 1, and Wayne Jones
just fell off the pace.
So that overheating problem must have returned to the 07 car in a tough break for Wayne Jones, a very popular driver in this area. He doesn't even bring it down pit road. He makes the hard left and goes to the garage area.
Must be terminal. But here we have another second place car.
Moving up into second now, it'll be the 66 car, Rick Kretsch. So it looks like Kretsch is the only one that's going to be able to try to challenge the leader, Tom Kelly. And it looked like when Jones got off the pace that Kretsch may have had to check up a little bit as he's lost about 4 car lengths now to the leader.
And it seems like it's pretty much staying that the whole way around the racetrack. He's not gaining much time. As we see Tony Boswell fixing to show up the 5 to go. He's only got 5 laps to reel him in and try to overtake.
Here you see Ricky D. Rubin in the 13 car battling with the 56 car, Wayne Wilson, as the field is getting the 5 to go signal from starter Tony Boswell. So 95 laps in the books, 5 laps to go in the Amalie 100 for the Hooters Sportsman Cup cars. Sportsman Series race cars, different than the late models. They look a lot alike, but these cars running with a lot less engine and a lot less in the suspension and chassis
There
departments.
we got a
in the late
spin
models.
coming. Looks like coming out of turn 3.
And that looks like the 52 car of Jason Bowser. That's his second spin of the event. So it looks like he's trying to get the handle of the 3/4 mile oval here at USA International Speedway. Or as Joy Fair, who joined us at Toledo, said, he got a little bit behind in his steering.
We've seen that a few times tonight.
So the field under caution with just a few laps remaining, 96 laps showing up on the board. So I believe that the last few laps will be run under green flag conditions. So the caution laps will not count as they regroup the field and get ready for a 4-lap shootout to the checkered flag. So I guess we will see now if Rusty Hillman, who's moved up into the 3rd spot, can stay with the leaders. He was about a half a straightaway behind him, or roughly about maybe 100 yards, 150 yards or so behind the 2 leaders of Tom Kelly in car number 72 and the number 66 car of Rick Kretsch. Let's take a look at the replay and see what happened to the number 52 automobile of Jason Bowser. And here comes the replay, and he had some help. The 01 car getting into the back end. That's Jeff Wogeman in the 01 car, getting a piece of the 52 car of Jason Bowser. And he's
I think that was a case of both of them wanting the same piece of real estate.
Yeah. And that happens a lot in this type of racing. These guys are very aggressive out there, and as we have seen in late model races, guys will tend to give and take a little bit. These guys give no quarter and ask none.
They race people the way that the other person races them, and that's what this series is doing for these guys. Gives them a chance to race against the same guys on different racetracks, and you learn what some drivers will give you and what some drivers won't.
There we're looking at the leader, Tom Kelly, in car number 72. And unlike the last race we saw here back in September where we had all those lead changes, Tom Kelly has pretty much dominated this one.
Yes, he has. And he's had a little bit of help with attrition falling out behind him, but he's run a good, smart race. He's done everything he had to do to stay out front. And nobody has really seriously challenged him.